Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a second trimester recap. I want to talk about my symptoms and just things I've been experiencing. And I also want to talk about an alternative to a sex reveal if you don't want to do ultrasound. The sleep issues have gotten better overall. There has still been some days where I'm like, oh, I didn't really sleep that great. I kind of woke up every 2 hours or something. Either to use the bathroom, which is something that is going to keep happening more, I've been told, and is something that started this trimester a lot more. Or I was just awake at night, So, but overall, the big picture, my sleep has gotten a lot better. I attribute it to taking more magnesium at night, 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium at night. I have to double check that. But I take that and then a pregnancy pillow. So my aunt actually gave me a pregnancy pillow, and oh my goodness, it's been amazing. I know that when my sister was pregnant, she told me, like, get a pregnancy pillow because it will help you. Some women have not had pregnancy pillows and they just prop a bunch of pregnancy pillows all over. For me, I have been using the pregnancy pillow. I will link it down below. Definitely my second trimester, my energy levels have just been through the roof. I've been feeling amazing. I've been walking every day. I have noticed that I do tend to have like a gag reflex when I brush my teeth, which that wasn't there before. So I don't know if that's pregnancy related or not, but it's gotten a little bit better now, but I noticed that towards the beginning of my second trimester, when I would brush my teeth, I'd have to be careful, like if I was tongue scraping, because I would just feel like throwing up. And I almost threw up one time. Not really food, just like saliva, But that was new for me. The black line, or the linea nigra in Latin, I believe, which is hormonal. It comes in pregnancy and it leaves after pregnancy. On week 19, I noticed it starting to come out in that lower part under my belly button. And then towards week 22, I started getting it on top of my belly button. And then now later on in my second trimester, it's like there. It's very noticeable. So that has been pretty interesting and pretty cool. It's just crazy, all these changes. I think it's so important to like write these things down. So I keep a log on my phone. I write it on my notes app. I keep that chart with all my just observations, because looking back, it's like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. I also did get my first Braxton Hicks at week 19 as well. I was not sitting in like a very good position. I was kind of hunched over reading a book, and that was sort of compressing my stomach. And when I released from that hunch and I went to get up, my whole stomach was just like contracting, and it just felt so painful. And it lasted for about 5 minutes. But it wasn't like a labor contraction. It was a Braxton Hicks. And that was new for me. I have gotten them a little bit here and there, mostly if I am sort of, sitting too much on one side, and etc. I've been practicing a lot, like sitting correctly, so knees lower than my hips, and just making sure that my belly is sort of more forward and not reclined back, because those sorts of things prevent a sunny side up baby, right? They sort of get the baby into the position that it needs to be, which is towards the front part of your body, not towards the back. I've also been doing inversions before bed. I started doing that at around week 21 or 22. My baby was sideways, now baby is downward. So that's really good. I have noticed that I have become a little more inward. Not that I don't want to hang out with people, but I used to be very extroverted. Like, I felt like I had to go to all the things, after church, like stay a long time talking. But now with pregnancy, I've just noticed that I've become more inward. Like, I tell my husband, like, I kind of want to go. I want to, cuddle and snuggle and watch a movie, or drink hot chocolate or read a book, like things like that. I think that pregnancy brain is real, but it's really that you focus on what actually matters for your baby. And so that's why it's important to write things down, because you don't want to blame everything on the fact that you're pregnant. Like, that's just kind of, avoiding responsibility. So write things down, have a journal, have a planner, whatever. But if you notice that you forget things a little bit more that are just, not really important, I think it's just your body prioritizing what matters, which is growing your child. My bump, I would say, started officially showing at around week 18 to 20 is when I would say that I was like, oh my gosh. My husband and I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. Like you can tell I'm pregnant. So that has been really sweet. Just seeing the belly grow. And I have been taking progress pics. My baby kicked at 21 weeks, actually. That was pretty cool. The first time I felt baby kick was because I was laying in bed and I felt this like hard thing on the right side of my stomach. And I touch it. It was like kind of protruding a little bit, and I touched it and it disappeared. It just like disappeared. I was like, oh my goodness, what is this? And 2 minutes later, I feel flutters. And then like 30 seconds later, I feel flutters again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I think this is my baby kicking. So that was really sweet. Such a really sweet and like beautiful experience. And now I feel baby kicking every day. And when I was able to put my husband's hand on my tummy and he was able to feel the kicks, oh, that was so special as well. So it's just so sweet. I definitely have been able to distinguish between like the flutters, right, and the pops, that's more of like hiccups, I believe, and then the actual kicks, which are strong. Like the kicks are strong, I feel them, and I don't know, it's just like a nerve. I feel a nerve connected all over my belly, and it feels a little more intense. Now, when it comes to if baby is a boy or a girl, we actually found out, and our friends and our family know, but we are choosing to keep it offline for now. I actually did something called Sneak Peek. So the Sneak Peek DNA test, they have two options. They have the at-home version and the clinic version. The at-home version, it's not as accurate as what I've read because you might be surrounded by male DNA in your home. I did the clinic version. I went to the clinic and they drew my blood. And we found out if it was a boy or girl. I want to say 2 to 3 days, they let you know the results. They send you an email. I chose to have the results sent to my sister's email. They want to find out if in your blood there is male DNA. If there is, then it's a boy, and if there is no trace of male DNA, then it's a girl. The way that I wanted to find out was with a box, with a ribbon, and with flowers. Blue or pink, ribbon and flowers. That was very special. My friend worked on it with my sister, and it was just so sweet for both of us to find out together. And it's special, it's special. So that's what I did. In terms of supplements, I've been taking the same things that I was in my first trimester. I did a video about this on Instagram, and I talked about it in my first trimester recap, but basically collagen, cod liver oil, my prenatals, B12 drops, trace minerals, mineral salt sprinkled into my water, sourdough bread in terms of food, grass-fed butter, eggs, tons of water, exercising as usual, pregnancy Pilates. I've been doing treadmill walks, 12% incline, 3-speed, 30 minutes. I've just been staying active, doing dry brushing, doing lymphatic drainage on my face, things like that. The second trimester honestly has just been really exciting. Your baby is growing, you feel the baby, and you just have more energy, and it just feels really good. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.